What's up, guys? We're gonna do a smoked pork roast today in an electric smoker. There's the roast. I'm gonna show you guys what I use for a rub, what I use for a smoker, how to set up the smoker, and then I will film the process of it smoking.
I'll watch it later.
So for the rub, I use Holy Smokes pork and meat rub, along with a half a cup of brown sugar. So this rub has salt, paprika, brown sugar, dehydrated garlic, chipotle chili pepper, cocoa powder, and some other spices. It's really good. Like I said, it's a quarter cup of this and a half cup of brown sugar in a bowl. There's my quarter cup of the seasoning. We're gonna also add 2 tablespoons of this complete seasoning. So I have the quarter cup Holy Smokes, 2 tablespoons complete seasoning, and a half cup of light brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar if you'd like, in the bowl. Brown sugar, complete seasoning, and Holy Smoke seasoning. You're gonna mix it all up. Mix it all up nice and good. So we got the seasoning all mixed up. The next part is crucial. You're gonna take your roast and slather it in mustard. About like that on all sides, and smooth it out. So I'm slathering the mustard all over the roast. My hands are nice and clean. You can use gloves if you want. After you slather the mustard on the roast, you're gonna take the seasoning and rub it all over the roast as well. So I just take this seasoning and kind of sprinkle it like this over the whole thing. So that's one side of the roast covered. You flip it over, sprinkle some more on. You want it pretty thick. That way when it goes in the smoker, it develops a nice crust. I just kind of rub it in like that, pack it in, smush it down in all the crevices. So the complete seasoning has dehydrated vegetables, garlic and onions, salt, and some stuff for anti-caking. Okay, I set my camera up so you guys can watch me kind of put this seasoning on. Like I said, you just want to put it thick and even over the whole roast on all sides. Don't worry, it's going to kind of make a mess and go everywhere, but it's going to seem like a lot of seasoning that's going on here, but you're going to want a lot of seasoning. It makes a really good crust. Make sure you get it down in all the crevices of the meat. That way, when it smokes, it gets a nice good flavor. I'm going to wash my hands. So the next step is going to be, we're going to take our liquid pan for the smoker, and we're going to fill the liquid pan for the smoker up with apple juice. This just helps concentrate more flavor. I usually do 3 of these little apple juices and add 2 of these of water to it. Just like that. So this is the smoker we're using, a Masterbuilt. And this smoker usually has 3 trays, but we're only going to use one to do this pork butt. You take your apple juice and water mixture, put it right on the top here. Fill your wood tray with wood chips. I use wood chips and littler chunks of wood. They say don't use big chunks because it doesn't work as well, but that's not true. So to smoke my pork butt, it's totally up to you. You can use hickory, cherry wood, whatever you want, but I like a mixture of apple and cherry. So I put in my cherry wood chips, which are smaller ones, and then I like to take some just chunks of apple, set it right on top. I pick through the bag and find the smaller stuff because it does work better, but it burns no matter the size. And again, this is your preference, whatever kind of wood chips you guys want to use, totally up to you. So they say to only add a half a cup of wood to this, but I add a bunch in the beginning because if you don't, you're just going to be refilling it every hour or so. So we got the water in there, and then you put your wood chips down there, and then you crank the smoker to high. Close the door, but when you close the door, you just want to leave that latch so the door stays open a little bit, and that way some air gets in there, and those wood chips will start smoking nicely. So now that we have the smoker started, and while we are waiting for the smoker to start smoking and get up to temperature, this is what the roast looks like after it's sat for a little bit with the rub on it. Kind of soaks it all in. I usually let it set with a rub for about a half hour while the smoker's getting nice and warm. So while the pork is resting with a rub and my smoker's getting ready, I figured I'd take a little shot of my fish. I got a little beta in there, and then I got some little neon tetras schooling fish. A lot of people think you can't put betas in with other fish, but that's not true. Look it up. So yeah, while the pork is resting and the smoker's outside getting ready, I was just going to go over a couple of things. After your smoker comes up to temp and starts smoking really good, you obviously got to turn it back down. I usually try to get it around 195 to 210 degrees to smoke that roast at. And you'll smoke that for 8 to 10 hours. Sometimes pork or beef, when you're smoking it, will go through a stall. We're not going to get into that topic with this video, but if you want to know more about it, I can do a video about what a stall is, or you can also look it up online. So my smoker is heating up. You never physically want to clean like the walls of the smoker, because after a while, this is a new smoker, so it quite hasn't built up yet, but after a while it will build like almost like a cast iron wall around the whole thing of just smoky goodness flavor. But I do clean obviously the water tray or the juice tray and the smoker tray and the bottom. I found that a little metal thing that you use for current rod, take one of those in half, and that works good for the bottom. Scrapes everything out, and then I just scrape it in there. I do it when it's hot because it's easier to clean. When it's cold, that stuff does not like to come off. So our smoker is ready. Take the roast. Slide it right in there. Then adjust it so it's on the rack nice and even. Close the door. Latch it up so it's nice and tight. It's alright if there's a little crack in there. Some air is good. And as you can see, it's at 200 degrees. So I'm going to just back this down until the light shuts off. See, the light's both flickering right there. So right there. And she's smoking. So it's been about an hour of smoking, as you can see. It's already starting to form a crust. Still got a little bit of smoke coming out of there, which is great. The apple juice is steaming. We'll come back and check on her in a few hours. Good morning, you guys. It's been about 10 hours. We're going to pull this roast out of here. Look at that. Delicious. So we're going to pull it out. We're going to wrap it in some butcher's paper and tin foil, and then wrap a towel around it all, set it in the oven, and let it rest for an hour. So there it is. So pretty much what I do is I take the paper, wrap it around, and then wrap the tin foil, like this, and then another layer of tin foil like this, and then wrap it in a towel. That's that. And then it just goes into the oven. I usually put a little pan in there just in case it drips through the towel, but usually it doesn't because it's wrapped good. So we're going to let that rest for an hour, and then I will come back and show you guys how I shred it and what I use for a barbecue sauce. Alright, here is the roast after it's rested. You can let it rest for like an hour to 2 hours, or as long as you want.
Well, I guess.
Been resting for a few hours and it's still nice and warm. Looks delicious. So pretty much, I put it in a bowl, shred it apart, and mix barbecue sauce with it. And then you have yourself homemade smoked pulled pork. For the barbecue sauce, I use Sweet Baby Ray's, but you can use whatever kind of barbecue sauce you want, or you can make homemade barbecue sauce, even better. I'll do a video later date making homemade barbecue sauce. So I just put it in the bowl. This roast has a bone in it, which is right there I took out. And then I just shred it all apart with my hands. You can pull out all the fat if you want. I leave it in because it adds flavor. The fat cap, which is right here, I do take that out. But a lot of the little soft fat, I leave right in. Gives it really good flavor. you don't have to shred this. You can take it and slice it into slices and eat it that way with like potatoes or rice. But I like pulled pork sandwiches with coleslaw. Okay, so that's the pork all shredded. So to add flavor, I sprinkle in a little bit of the Holy Smokes that we used when we first smoked it, just a little bit. And a little bit of the complete seasoning. You don't need much, there's plenty of flavor in there. And then Sweet Baby Ray's Sweet Vidalia Onion and Hawaiian barbecue sauce. I mix 1 cup of each and add it into there. So that's my 1 cup of each barbecue sauce, the seasoning. And then I do use a little bit, about a ½ cup of hickory smoked Kraft barbecue sauce. Super good, and it adds a little bit of smoky flavor. And then we just mix it up. I kind of just toss it around. Get all the meat coated nice and good. And if you want more barbecue sauce in it, you can add more barbecue sauce. But I like it like this. And you can also use any kind of barbecue sauce you want. I'm just showing you guys the principles of how to make a smoked pork butt. But you can change your rub, you can change your barbecue sauces. You can do it however you would like. And that is a smoked pork butt. To do it properly with the smoker and everything, it takes about 2 days. Well, everybody, this was my first video. I hope you all enjoyed. As I get better at videotaping myself, the videos will get better, LOL. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You all have a good day. Danny's Cooking Kitchen is out of here. One more thing. After you mix your barbecue sauce in with your pulled pork, I usually let it set for about an hour so all the flavors can meld.